Welcome to the Barry Charles Footy Show, your one-stop shop for everything rugby league. In today's episode, we're going to talk about the female referee getting their first standalone game. Is it just a token gesture from the NRL? We'll talk about that shortly. The first of the finals race has just clouded everything, with the Broncos holding on to the lead only just after losing to the Melbourne Storm. Now Melbourne Storm have jumped the third, so we could have some crazy moves here. Penrith can go to first. Warriors are now fourth. Will they stay fourth? Will they jump back up to third? Who does Penrith want to play? That's another question. You could argue they might want to play the Warriors first up if they all had to choose out of the two. So that's going to be an interesting point. We've obviously got to talk about the big game tonight, South Sydney and the Roosters, who's going to get that one done. And then obviously we got the Panthers rest players now because of all the drama that happened last night at the footy. Let's get to it here at the Barry Charles Footy Show. Yes, Kasey Badger joins Belinda Sharpe as a referee. Yes, Belinda Sharpe was a referee in the two referee system, but now Kasey Badger will be the first female referee to coach in the NRL standalone. Again, in the Titans versus Bulldogs game. What's happening? To me, it's an absolute token gesture. Yes, we need some good publicity going into the finals. Let's do it. Just one game off. It's a game that doesn't matter to the result. If NRL really want to say they got women in the league next season, her and Belinda Sharpe will be doing standalone games every week. Now, that's going to be the question mark. It's just a token gesture they put her in this week. It's just, to me, it's just laughable, even though they're celebrating it. To me, it's just a token gesture. They should be doing more, and she should be. I get it's a big deal, but a big deal will be on a result that matters. She should be at the game tonight, Rabbitohs and Roosters, and then they're really taking the going, yes, we are doing the right thing by the woman in terms of the referee system. So I think the NRL can do a lot more, and we'll see if they actually give them game time next season. During the season when it matters. So I think it's time for that to happen. We'll see if that happens. Melbourne Storm get it done last night in a bit of a crazy match all over the show. Brisbane's on fire to start with. You think they were going to win this game easily. If you're looking at the first 15 minutes, and then boom, Melbourne come back and get to the lead at half-time. Probably should have been up by more. But Grant Anderson put his foot out. And the goal kicking wasn't the greatest to start off with from Pappenhausen. The second half got better. Obviously getting them all in the second half. But yeah, to me, it was going to be... I just felt Melbourne Storm have done it too many times before compared to Penrith in terms of resting players and playing under adversity. I know the Broncos have done it in the past with the baby Broncos in the Origin series, and obviously they do it, but I just felt with this one it was just too catastrophic, and with the likes of Justin Olam now coming back into the team, it was always going to be an opportunity, but Justin Olam didn't really put his stamp on the game either to say, pick me. Grant Anderson had a great game. Farlogo, good to see the Farlogo game back in the NRL. And Pappenhausen was okay. And then Tristan Saylor on the other side, got to get a gig somewhere. I'm not sure why he re-signed there. Where does he get a chance on the wing next season? I don't know. Will they re-sign Corey Oates is another question on that, because Tristan Saylor to me is an NRL player. I'm sure there's a few other clubs that would love to have him playing either fullback or wing for them. So, but obviously, watch the space if they changes. But he did re-sign recently with the Broncos. But in terms of the game, really you can't justify it. So at the moment, the Broncos probably, I don't know, the Broncos want to play the Warriors as well. That's why they were losing, because they were expecting the Warriors to beat the Dolphins. But I don't know what's happening in there. Who wants to play who? So the Dolphins, yes, I mean not the Dolphins, so the Warriors. So if the Warriors win, which I'm hoping for, but there's no guarantee there. With the Dolphins, of course, with a full-strength team against the Warriors, reserve grade team just about. It's going to be tough, but for instance, say the Warriors win, they'll be third. So at the moment, they'll be playing Penrith. So it's all up Penrith. Do Penrith want to play the Warriors? They lose the game. If they want to play the Storm, they want to win the game. Yes. Who would you rather play? You people at home, comment below in the comments. Who do you think Penrith want to play? Do Penrith want to play the Warriors, or do they want to play the Storm? I personally think they want to play the Warriors if you want to pick out of the two to pick. But in saying that, Penrith are known to lose the first week of the finals. They've done it a few times recently. So there is a chance for a team to get them, especially with no Luai there. Te Maire Martin's going to be interesting as he makes his return to the NRL after being out for most of the season with a leg injury. Be interesting to see how he goes after only one New South Wales Cup game. He's going to probably find it a little bit tough, I would say. Just get his fitness back up to the levels that he was at. But he's going to need a big game without the rest of the players there. He's going to have to be a 10 out of 10 if the Warriors are going to win. Good to see Ronald Volkman also get his chance in the NRL again. Been quite a while since he's played. So it's good to see him back in the fold for them. So the Panthers, what are the Panthers going to do? Well, it all depends on the Warriors game. Well, either way, really. If the Warriors lose, they stay fourth. So that means Penrith have to win if they want to play the Warriors, lose to play the Storm. It's very interesting. I think 90% of people would say you'd rather play the Warriors than the Storm because the Warriors haven't been in finals footy for a long time. But I still think the Warriors are the more dangerous side. But obviously the spine of the Storm, of Pappenhausen if he plays fullback again, Hughes, Munster and Harry Grant is scintillating. But the Warriors, I think as a team, are playing better than the Storm. As a whole rounded team, they're playing better. But obviously, defensively, at times, and their fundamentals sometimes with the Warriors is probably why I think teams would rather play the Warriors right now instead of the Storm, because the Storm have the X factor. But the Warriors do have an X factor, playing more like a traditional half in these days. But Sean Johnson, he is the key. If the Warriors are going to win this premiership, it's up to him, not just him, but it's up to him for Noah Blake and Tohu Harris. But let's hope for Warriors fans Tohu Harris is back next week, because there's question marks if he will be. So for the Panthers, do you rest players or not? I think the Panthers, it's a catch-22. Do you give Nathan Cleary and Jack Hogger their game because they haven't really played much together? And I don't go on they rested players last year, you should rest players this year. I think it's a bit of a, they lost last week, do they really want to? But yeah, it's a tough one either way, which I wouldn't be surprised if they rested, and I wouldn't be surprised if they played their players, but because they lost last week, they might want to get a bounce back factor going into the final series, which the Broncos are losing a game after going on a roll. It's a bit of a controversy when resting players. Do you go backwards after losing a game? But yeah, if you're going to rest players, obviously you rest Leota, Fisher, Harris, Cleary, there'd be three. Would you keep Dylan Edwards on Cottonwool again this week after what happened last week? That's a possibility. The Cowboys clearly need a miracle tomorrow. They have to win. There's no doubts about it. If they win, they're in with a grin, are they? Yes, I think they are. Yes, they're in with a grin if they win, because they'll pass the Roosters or the... Well, actually, they're not in with a win. If the Rabbitohs win, I think Rabbitohs got better forward against the Cowboys. So if the Rabbitohs win, then the Cowboys need the Raiders to lose. So there's a lot of percolations here with the Cowboys that, well, they'll know their fate. Obviously, they have to win. Well, they won't know their fate till maybe Sunday, depending. But they'll be cheering the Roosters on. The Cowboys should be cheering the Roosters on so they can leapfrog the Roosters with a win. That's the way that the Cowboys will be going for tonight. So that's going to be an interesting game to watch. But yes, obviously the big game. Yes, the big game. The big game with no big players. Well, not quite. There's more big players in this game than last night, obviously. But no Mitchell and no Tom Burgess for the Rabbitohs versus no Tapo, Manu and JWH. Yes, the Roosters are flying high after about with a few wins in a row. Can they continue it? All the pundits are expecting them. Well, not all the pundits, but most people are expecting them to win. That are neutral. But the Rabbitohs should get it done tonight. Yes, South Sydney are going to march on back to the finals, I believe. I have not been convinced in the Roosters last few weeks. I mean, they're winning, but they're not convincing me. Obviously, James Tedesco back is going to help the cause, but I've just got a funny feeling the Rabbit is ready to rock and roll, the Rabbits. But you can see that all the issues over the last week is going to galvanise them, or they'll flop out. We're going to find out later tonight. Well, I'll see you guys at the footy game if you're there. South Sydney and the Roosters, I will be there watching, having my Rabbitohs jersey on, because yes, the Rabbitohs are going to the finals, baby, maybe. But anyway, thank you very much for watching. Enjoy the football on the weekend. Hopefully your team wins. And if your team having their last game for the season, well, hopefully they finish off with a high. And you would hope that the Tigers, Bulldogs, and that will improve next season. The Dragons will use down there. And obviously for Parramatta fans, unlucky to you, because they probably should have made the top 8. But of course of Ryan Madison, you could argue. That was one point of it. But Dylan Brown as well. And those two, when that happened, cost the Parramatta Eagles from making the finals. But anyway, thank you so much for joining me here at the Barry Charles Footy Show. Remember to like and subscribe to the channel, and I'll be back next time.